Hello, hello.
Can you hear me, Suzanne?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just trying to make it a bit louder.
We're here. You're looking beautiful, Suzanne.
Oh, thank you. And you are looking lovely also. I can't believe we are there now. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Suzanne and Uzo. Hello, people. Thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you, Viney, Suzanne and Uzo. Thankfully, you guys can. Hello. You can't see my fingers.
No.
Chatting about life during lockdown, marriage, disability, illness.
Hey, Gloria.
Oh yeah, keep.
Oh, there's people joining. Oh.
I know. I'm really chuffed. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not just doing nothing, guys. I'm actually doing something.
Hey, Abby. Hi, Abby. Nice to see you.
There, you know someone now. And family. Okay, let's post it so everyone
knows what we're doing.
Hello, Lola. That's my coach.
Oh.
Come on.
Post it and pin it, Uzo.
Exactly. Pin, comment. Yes.
Yes.
We are ready to roll. Hello, people.
Hello, everyone. Oh.
Hello. Thanks for joining. You won't believe what happened not too long ago while Suzanne and I were just trying to get things together. Was this before we prayed or after we prayed?
It was straight off.
Exactly, and the smoke alarm went off in my house. Oh, gosh. But, hey, everything is calm. I'm calm.
He's got a sense of humour.
Well, I don't think it's him. But whatever the other one was trying to do wasn't going to work, was it?
No.
Thanks, everyone. Welcome to iAuthentic Love as Is Marriage series. And we have the lovely Suzanne Bond with us. I'm going to give Suzanne a chance to introduce herself and tell us what she does. Suzanne and I met up on Twitter last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1 year already.
Oh, yeah.
And we said we're going to do something. We said we're going to meet up.
Yeah.
And then we now thought, okay, we're going to do something. And then you said, Uzo, do you have Zoom? Maybe we should use Zoom. And then look at how the world has changed.
We're doing it.
Exactly. And we're doing it. So over to you, Suzanne. Please tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, don't let me go on forever. Me and Uzo can chat. So I'm Suzanne. I live in a small town in Hampshire. I'm married to my husband, Matt, and we have two lovely girls. They're 12 and 15, so homeschooling's going cool. My husband, Matt, was diagnosed with Parkinson's about 17 years ago now, I think. And so it's young onset Parkinson's. We're still fairly young. We've not hit 50 yet. Matt turned 48 today.
Wow.
So we're still in our 40s, and his Parkinson's has advanced a fair bit, but we're with it, getting used to it. And so life changed, and my work. I used to work in hotels. Then I began freelancing, and I worked for Parkinson's UK for a while, developing their self-management program, and we even took that online. So
wow.
And I qualified as a coach 3 years ago now. So, so working really, coaching carers. We teamed up with an organisation called Mobilise Online, and we're working to support carers online, which through the coronavirus thing. It's a joy. It's my thing to do. So
and you really look happy and well for it. Someone's just said happy birthday to Matt. So
yeah, it's his birthday.
You know, now you kept that hidden from me, and you let him mow the lawn.
The nap, so he's having a little snooze, I think, in front of the telly. So
okay, all right. So he was still doing some work in the garden, even though it's his
birthday. I'm hoping he's finished now, or we could have hedge cutting going on in the background.
Yeah. Nice birthday present, Suzanne. We have to talk about this later.
Yeah.
Well, for everyone joining, my name is Uzo Muga. My husband battles with spinal cerebellar ataxia. Gosh, it sounds like a mouthful sometimes, but we call it SCAR7. We've got 3 lovely children. Oge, who is going to be 16 in August. Oluchi is 14. She turned 14 on Tuesday. Oh my goodness, 14 going on 21. But hey, we thank God. And I've got Kanye, our son. He's going to be 12 in September. So yeah, quite a brood there. Please, let's make this interactive. As we go along, if you've got any questions, there's a little question box by the side of your comment box. You can type in your questions there, and Suzanne and I will pick the questions up, and then we could chat about it. We will be talking about different things, not a lot because it's Instagram. There's only so much time, but hey, it's Suzanne and I. I'm very sure Suzanne will be happy to come back for another session if you don't scare her with your questions. Well, you can't actually. Yeah, one thing, Suzanne is a carer's coach. So there's nothing that you're going to say that's going to faze her, really. And that's why she's here. So let's get going. Suzanne, I think we chatted earlier in the week, and I was telling you about an article I read by Rick Elgesma. Very good article, nice article. It says, when a spouse is disabled, be it together or not at all couple. And he said something, many relational obstacles hamper marriage, you know, or relationships like finance and time spent together, raising children, you know, and for both of us and many out there who might still be joining or listening, because we're going to post this on social media later. It could be some of these things or all of these things plus disability. So how has it been for you during lockdown? You know, how have things been during lockdown for you?
Wow, what a journey. I guess everyone's had their own thing that's difficult. For us, at first, it was quite scary. Just, if Matt got it, you know, he'd be knocked back, you know, so much. It would really advance his Parkinson's. We know when he gets old, it's really difficult to manage. So I was not, we just got to keep it out of the house. So we were a bit worried, but once school shut down, we felt better. Once we got our Tesco shops ordered, we felt better. And then 2 weeks in, we're like, okay, we've survived this far without getting it. If we just stay locked down, we'll be fine. And then, so that was good. We kind of felt more relaxed. But at first, the stress and Parkinson's are not good together. So a lot. At the same time, my work suddenly went whoop. Suddenly, there's a need for an online carers coach.
Yes.
A joy. So connecting with carers online has been really good and a real kind of new adventure. So my work kind of went from part-time to full-time. But the girls stepped up, you know, the girls can cook and clean.
Wow, look at that. You discovered that.
If I
discovered that
long enough, lunch gets made. If I don't come in till 2 o'clock from the office, lunch gets made. So I've got an office in the garden, so I still get a bit of space. I think that's really kept us going. Just having a little bit of separate space has really been helpful.
Okay.
And then we got into a routine. A routine helped as well. At first, we were a bit all over the show, and Matt was quite able to go and do lots of different groups. He did table tennis, hydrotherapy, walking football, and he'd got quite a routine established. And then he was kind of, Parkinson's is tough. It makes you very apathetic, and it's really hard to get motivated.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, you need to do stuff. Oh, but I'm going out to work. I'm going back to do stuff. So we got into routine. We said, right, if we just every morning have a walk together, then you're up and dressed. We've had a walk. You've had some fresh air. I need the fresh air. We've had some time together. Okay, that sets the day off well. So into our routine, and that made a big difference.
Okay.
What about you? How has lockdown been for you?
Wow. It's been interesting because apart from being a carer, a driver, a cook, well, part-time cook because I've got big girls now, and even Kanye cooks sometimes. I became IT support also. Yes, I had to add that because you know, when it started, when the lockdown started, so it was the last week of school for the children, which wasn't so bad, okay? You know, they kind of coped with things. And I thought, okay, we'll try and get into a routine. With Chris, he only had to go. Have you heard of Headway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he does some sessions with Headway. So, and he really looked forward to those sessions. So I was thinking, how is this going to work out now? Because this is his chance to go out. But they started off Zoom sessions for them, which was really, really good for him. And also another concern was the fact that because of his eyesight, now one of the symptoms of SCAR7 is visual impairment. So it's really been quite challenging for Chris. So I was now thinking, okay, how are they going to work with him? But it's been absolutely amazing. So in terms of routine, it wasn't so bad getting into the routine. What was a bit challenging was having to watch the family dynamics. Because, yeah, so the children did not realize how things were with their dad. So it was always a case of coming, go to school, this and that. So now they're spending so much more time with him. And but they adapted really, really quickly with that. I mean, cooking, hey, I've got girls. And we Africans, we don't joke. We don't joke with our daughters, with our children. So one of the things I've always done right from time was made sure my children were self-sufficient, because I'm not one of those women that would run home to go and cook because I'm not, you know, so I must be able to call you and say, you know, we used to do these things. And I'm very sure for those who are Nigerians on the call, they remember how their moms could cook. They'll be in their living room and cook the food because somebody else will be putting everything together. Yeah, so that's how it is in my house, you know. So they know, once I just say, okay, you put this, they know what to do. And so in terms of cooking and all that, you know, they got that really, really sorted. So lockdown hasn't been as bad or challenging for us. But it will be great to hear what people out there who are in similar circumstances, you know, have seen or experienced. Is there anybody out there that has had challenges with managing family? Now, remember I said something before, whilst you're putting in your comments, I said I'd become IT support. So when school started, Mom, my laptop isn't working. My internet isn't working. Then I have to be around to make sure that I have to put on Zoom for Chris. So yes, I had to add that. So I think that was the part that I was like, seriously.
Less chauffeuring though at the moment, yeah?
Yes.
My car's just collecting dust, so
yes. But exactly. But I got in there because I just knew that I take morning walks. So I thought, okay, Kanye logs in about 9:30. Oluchi logs in about 9. So make sure you don't go for a walk till 10 o'clock till you know they are really logged in. Whatever you do, make sure you're at home by 1:30 to log Chris back in. Then, and I realized, I've got Oge, the eldest. Let me show her how to log in. So I showed her how to log Chris in if I'm not around, if I had to go to the shops or something because of the queues. And so we got into some kind of space. Yeah. So what would you say has been a positive part from this lockdown? It's not yet over, but so far, I mean, we've been 12 weeks already. So what would you say has been a positive for you, the family, Matt?
Yeah. I think it's, for me, I've always wondered if I could stretch my hours to full time and felt that was a risk to do. But it's given me a chance to try because I've not had to take the girls to guides and dancing and swimming and whatever else and worry about are they home from school in the rain and have they got a netball tournament. So it's given me a bit more space to work. And also the routine can go around Matt's medication, because we're not going anywhere. So food and medication for Parkinson's is really important to get that right in a more advanced. So that's really worked well because I know where we are with meal times and stuff. But yeah, we've had some good time together. It's been nice to be together. But hearing what you're saying about your family spending more time with your husband, I think aware of my role as a carer, they do, and how he needs help during the day at different times. At first, I think that was a bit unsettling. It's good they know that, and they're used to it again now. It's not so shocking.
Exactly.
but they've got used to that as well. So I think that's good. But yeah, I bet there are people out there though, if you're shielding, if you wait where you can get fresh air and go out, if you're not able to get shopping, all those things. So speaking to carers around the country, I know life's not all that easy for everybody. So we're just really grateful. It might be dark times, but we're grateful.
And we have to be. I mean, I've got wonderful neighbors, you know. Yeah, so one of them next door, she gets like a basket of food she orders, you know, and she brings some down to us. I sent a text to an elderly couple, and they were like, "Oh, Uzo, you don't need to go out because of Chris." And now recommended the fact that there were carers out there who could do the job for us. And I said, no, not to worry. You know, I like choosing my own stuff and I like doing my own things. I think I just like being in control, really. Now that I think
we all love being in control.
And I just to think of somebody else. So I don't know how other people do it. And I hope I don't get to that point where I have to depend on somebody else. But it's not a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing because you really need to have people around you. And I have people around me. I've got a great community of friends, you know, that check up on me, that drop stuff off and say, oh, here, you know, one of them, you know, all the way from Kent. I don't know how she managed to find somebody, a shop in Milton Keynes that sells African food, you know, and then order the food and got them to deliver to us. So, you know, and that's because of the community of wonderful people and friends around us. And I'm very sure it's the same with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got friends at local. So my local tribe is my mum's, the antenatal group when my first child was born. So we've been friends for 15 years to grow up. So they've always helped. They're always there. But they keep, you know, they don't wait for me to ask. They check in. I'm in Waitrose now. Do you want something? I've got a test, and they email me Tesco slots now. Go. So they help me like that. They kind of, you know, just checking in and phoning, and our church as well. Kind of
and church, yes, church. Yeah, church has been great for us too.
Phone list round and things.
Exactly.
It's tough, isn't it? Not being out there helping everybody else. I try though. I know you do yours over the phone with mobilized care and all that. Oh yeah.
And can you imagine? Somebody said, "I can't imagine Uzo not being in control." You know, 2 people now. I've just seen the comments. I can't imagine Uzo not in control. You know. And thanks, Suzanne. I saw your comment about the girls' jollof rice. Suzanne's my best friend, and yeah. So we do some kind of social distancing meetups. You know, her house is. It's just right, you know, I'll park my car just by her doorway, and then she's on her doorway and I'm in the car, and then we're chatting. So that's one way of, you know, us seeing each other without having to talk to each other and still being close to each other. Yes, exactly. And then she likes our jollof rice. Jollof rice is a delicacy in Nigeria. I don't want to stir up a controversy, so I'll leave it there. And with other countries, because some countries say theirs is better than Nigerians, but hey, we'll just leave it there. We know which one's better. So sometimes when I make a batch, I'll just tell her, all right, come down and come and pick up, you know. So she'll come down and then I drop it out and she picks it up. And then we chat again, you know. Door two, she's on the, it's so funny, really. So yeah, thanks, Suzanne, for that. Oh, thank you, Lola. They say our chemistry is lovely. Did you see that, Suzanne?
We knew it would be. We love chatting on the phone.
Yeah, I think I have a nice chemistry with people called Suzanne, you know, Suzanne. I think that's it. There's something about that name. Yeah. So, for me, what I would say has been a positive, yes, is family time. I've gotten to know my children a little bit more. So before the lockdown, if you had asked me about them, I would have said something a little bit different from who they are. But wow, it's been kind of interesting now having to sit down with them. You know, there are no activities and taking their time away, and we have real conversations, more conversations. They're all aware of the family dynamics with their dad, myself, you know, they ask questions. Now, they never used to ask questions about the condition before. Now they ask more questions. They are more aware. They've always been in tune to their dad. So it's not been a problem. I remember one time his social worker came, or was it his neurological nurse? One of them, actually. And she said, did we need some kind of, is it respite for them? Do we want them to go and join? And I said, they've had a normal life. There's nothing that's stopping them doing the activities that they want to do. We've got a good support network. They go swimming, they're in football clubs. In short, I'm a soccer mom, you know, in the winter. You've got girls. I know there are girls that play soccer, but my goodness, having to, you know, I know, and you know, when my son started, exactly, when my son started, I know you love soccer. I know, I saw that on your Twitter. When my son started, I thought, during winter, he doesn't like cold. I'll just give him one season, you know. He's going to give up. He didn't, Suzanne. He was shivering. I mean, there was one time it was so cold that he couldn't get onto the field. And I was like, yes, this boy is going to say, Mom, I don't want to play football anymore. But no, 4 years, we're still here doing the football. And another reason why I took him to do that was because I didn't want him to grow up feeling, or is it because of my dad's condition that my mom didn't have the time to do? So I thought, let me give him the chance, and then he will give up. Then I know I've tried, but nah, I'm still here. So
important, isn't it, being part of a team and all that stuff? I think that's important, isn't it? It gives them another group of friends, stuff, and sometimes you have to say, "Oh, can us mums between us? Can you help me out?" And make sure, you know. And sometimes you have to accept you can't take your turn as much as other mums or as much as other dads. Maybe they do more than you, and you just have to accept that. I think sometimes that's how we work it out.
Yes. Now we've got 3 questions, so I'm going to start off with one that's very interesting because all 3 are interesting. Sorry, so all 3 are interesting. But the first one is because we just covered this lockdown period, which I would ask it. And the question was, how has Matt and Chris coped with lockdown? What would they say? What would you say Matt would say about lockdown?
I think he's in a good place with it now. I think the first 2 weeks were really stressful and we're just really down. And then it's been a bit up, down, up, down. But I think now he's settled into routine. We've got the exercise going on. We've been really fortunate with having some medical appointments. We really thought would come to a stop. So Matt was working towards an assessment for having deep brain stimulation, which is some surgery. And we were just getting to the point of, well, what's the decision? Are we going to have it or not? And we thought, well, that's it now. It's not going to happen now. We're just going to wait at least a year, forget it. And then we had an online consultation. They were really clear and they said, this is what the plan is, probably in October. So it's kind of just delayed by about a month from what we thought. We can't believe it.
Wow.
They've been so good, and he's got a Parkinson's and just email or phone. We are so blessed at the moment. So that makes a big difference that he's got still got access to the people that matter. He's been going through a medication change, so it's really helped that they've been there. And speech therapy, they cancelled the speech therapy program that he needed. And then they went, oh, hang on, we can do it on Zoom now. We'll do it. And then the girls were able to join in, so the girls could learn how to help Dad.
Oh, that is really good. That is really good.
See, because his speech is really struggling, therapy sessions, he can talk. It's all still there, and all that. So that was very encouraging for them to see, and him to at least not missed out on any treatment. So I think that's helped. It's kept him that feeling of moving forwards that he's not. And I think now, nice weather. We've got a bit of gardening. We ordered some seeds just before lockdown, so he's got some sort of vegetables he's trying to grow.
That's nice.
So he's got a little bit of something. So he's doing really well, I think.
Well, I mean, for Chris has never been an outdoors person. Yeah, so he's never been an outdoors person. So I remember when it happened, and I said to him, so that means when we're going for a walk, we have not been for a walk. I mean, I can't remember the last time I went with Chris for a walk. Was it maybe as a family we all went together? Maybe 2 years ago or whatever. So he's never been an outdoors person. He's so he's so content to just sit at home. Even when we go on holidays, I mean, he will say, all right, you guys go off. Don't worry, I'll be at home. You know, he just... So I think the lockdown hasn't really made that much of a difference to him. He can stay at home and actually have Zoom with Headway, which is great. So he doesn't even have to go anywhere, you know. So he's been fine there. And then having the children around a lot has really, really been good for him also. Maybe a bit too much because they're asking questions and they're being a bit cheeky, you know, and there's just some topics Chris is a bit uncomfortable about talking, like, you know, menstruation, you know, so they're like, you know, it's like, you guys, you really have to talk about that in front of me, and girls know that, so they really go on, yes, and they're like, seriously, you guys, do you have to talk about that? So we've got that also. But apart from that, I mean, I would say he's really been fine. He's actually been fine. It's been great to see. Another one of the questions that popped up, and I'll still go back to the other questions, was, do you ever get tired of just being? What do you think? Do you ever get tired of just being?
It is hard, isn't it? Because there's no day off.
Yeah.
It's really hard to actually really separate and go, right, I'm just me now, and I'm just not any of these things. As you listed all those job roles you have, I see my colleague Chloe here. Chloe talks about, she's a young adult coach. She talks about wearing different hats.
Yes.
And, you know, put on these different hats, and it's like you take off this hat, the next job, the next thing, and it's hard just because there's no kind of, you're constantly on, there's no off.
Yes.
So that is tough, but I think I've made a real distinction in lockdown. I've made Saturday a day where I'm completely switched off. I call it digital, my phrase.
Yes. You told me about that, yes.
Digital distancing, that's lovely. And that has made a switch. It feels a real step down, kind of, you know, easy as possible dinners, all of that. Let's just, no washing on Saturdays.
Yes.
Cut off as much as you can, and then you can be just you. And that, you know, Sundays, church is now online. So that's a bit odd.
Yes.
Really weird to do that. But I've got a good friend who will chat and pray together, so that helps, because I'm not great at praying on my own. I'm not one of these people that just does that. So so those things, but digital distancing and no washing and easy, because it was getting hard. It was getting hard just to be for a bit.
Okay. So, I mean, have you ever gone on a holiday away from them? I do that a lot. That's why I have to ask that question. And I hope you do.
Every other year or so, I go to New Wine, which is like a big Christian festival camping. I've taken the girls with me to do their thing. Matt stays at home and his mum lives on him. So that's my respite. That's my complete time.
And you don't joke with it.
You know, and also I'm not involved on team at New Wine. I just go as a person. I haven't got a job to do. Whereas at church, I'm with the children, or I'm doing this.
Oh, of course.
Just completely indulge myself. But it's cancelled this year, so I'm going to need to work a way of how do I recreate that, I think. But what about you? How is your being?
Well, so just as you said, there is no switch off time. At the beginning, when things started out, you know, the symptoms started becoming a bit more obvious, it was a bit tiring and it was challenging. And it's a good thing this Love As Is a series, because we're going to be touching on different parts of having marriage and disability and illness. So what do I ever get tired? Yes, I do. I'm not going to say I don't. I actually do. I have Sundays free, so I would have made the Sunday lunch, and then I just go and relax. The children know it. The family know it. I don't like visitors on Sundays, to tell you the truth, you know. Sorry for those who have dropped in on Sunday. I mean, during the lockdown, it has changed, but before lockdown, you know, come and visit me on Saturday. But Sunday, after Sunday lunch, I just want to relax, listen to music, watch a movie, but they just know, they just leave me to be. I'll just go upstairs to the bedroom. My secondary school class, we do a reunion every other year, which I don't miss at all. So All right. Okay. You're back, Suzanne. So it looks like there was something that was going on. Maybe my screen. Maybe my screen. Now some people are saying, now we know. So yeah. So I go away every 2 weeks. Can you hear me? Can you hear me,
Yes,
Suzanne?
I can hear you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah. So I go away every 2 years. You know, a week. Love it. Away from family. I do not take any calls. I do not do anything, you know. I've made sure that they are self-sufficient. My support network is around them. So we're fine. You know, this last time, it was so funny because and it was so good that we went away just before before this lockdown. So we're on a cruise. And then when we got to one of the ports, I called them and said I was at the port. And they said, okay, all right, you know. And then, okay, yeah, because it was a European cruise, so the internet tariffs were quite high. So I said to Chris that I'm going to give one of my friends' number to my brother, not him. And that if there's any emergencies, then he should talk to my brother, and then my brother will call my friend. So, because I know between them, they will think, is it really an emergency before it comes to me? And if it was Chris that just had it, he would say, you tell the children, just call your mom, just call your mom. But if it's my brother will be thinking, oh, you know. So anyway, they didn't call me. But one of the times we were at the port, Chris called me and said, Uzo, the washing machine isn't working. I said, okay. Anyway, you guys sort it among yourselves. I'm going to meet my ladies. I think we're going to have something, you know. I'll see you later. And I left because I'm thinking, what am I going to do from here? And I wasn't really ready to think about anything. Anyway, I felt guilty, so I called after some time and I said, how is it going with the washing machine? And she said, oh, we sorted it. I said, oh, well done. You know, I praised him, massaged his ego, said I loved him, and then I went off again. So that was it. Well, okay. So somebody's asked a question. Gosh, loads of questions coming through. How do you keep a positive attitude despite all you have to do?
I don't keep a positive attitude, sorry.
Now you are the opposite of me.
I'm a mostly positive person. But
okay. Yeah, mostly positive person.
Attitude. And that's okay. Be a grump, be a grouch, it's fine.
My friend Lola will say the same thing. She will say the same thing here. You know, be whoever you want to be.
Yeah. Be honest with how you're thinking.
Yes.
You know? And yeah, how am I positive? Part of it is just who I am. I'm an optimistic person. I'm a positive person.
Yes.
And I expect not everybody is. But my favourite little thing at the moment, I wrote a blog last week, it's lovely, about uplift. It's just find a bit of uplift. Whether it's
very important.
Whether it's doing something fun, just find a bit of uplift. Don't aim for positive thinking. That's really tough. And you can be doing it. That's it.
Yes. I don't think I can add anything to that. Well done for that. You know, that's good. Thanks for that comment, Chloe. Yes, we don't like to use the word respite, but you know, it's good to embed it in. It's good that whatever we do, kind of, you know, it's embedded in there. Another question I picked up was, how do you manage and balance your emotions? That's an interesting one. Especially during this lockdown.
Talk to someone, I think.
Yes.
Talk to someone that will listen. Friends are good, you know, friends are good for different things. Some friends are really good at listening and some friends are good at coming up with, oh yeah, I know, and this for me, you know, and it's a bit to and fro. Someone who'll listen. Sometimes that's your husband, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you need to let off steam about him. So I've got two really good friends that are prayer partners and the older ladies, you know, not massively old. They're just a generation ahead of me. They know about life and they've been there and they've sat and they've heard me sob and just, they're not scared for me to sob. They'll let me cry and cry and cry and just keep passing the tissues and keep giving me a glass of water so I don't dehydrate. And they soak it all up, you know, they don't try and fix all the problem, they just listen. And that's hugely powerful. And sometimes it's spotting that you need to do that before you really need to.
Exactly.
When you're having those conversations with yourself when you're so irritated with everybody and everything makes you like, oh, well, you know, when you get like that, you need to talk to someone.
I know, it is. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
You're feeling sorry for yourself and like life bad.
In short, once you get to your pity party, don't stay there too long. Get out of it and quickly and get on with what you're doing. You know? And you're quite right. For me, I think I'm a naturally happy person. You know, it takes a lot to get me down. It takes a lot to get me to cry. I don't know why this morning I felt tearful though. I must confess. I'd finished praying and I felt so tearful and I was thinking, oh my gosh. And my friend Lola sent me a text and said, so are you prepared? And I said, oh, I felt so tearful this morning. And then she called me and then spoke to me and then she prayed with me. And, you know, that just lifted me up. I'm unfortunately, I won't say, unfortunately or fortunately, I'm one of those very proud people that it takes a lot for you to get to me, for things to get to me. And I always kind of work things through quickly. So a positively optimistic person. I think to Chris's annoyance sometimes, you know. At the beginning, when the symptoms were beginning to present themselves and he was working, if he says anything to me, I must always have a positive thing to say back. Because that's how I think. I always think, okay, how can we work around it and how can we get around it? Now, do I get annoyed and angry with him? Yes, I do. But then I learned to let him be, you know. So you kind of learn. As at the beginning, it's quite difficult. Have people around you. And I still have people around me that help me through things. But then it does get easier, doesn't it? It does get easier. It really does get easier. Another question we have, gosh, my goodness. Where are we? All right. What are the major challenges that you've come across with being a carer for a spouse? That's a good one.
Yeah. I suppose I don't know what it's like. Well, I do know a lot of what it's like caring for other people. So, but my only lived experience is for my spouse. And I guess it's about being a wife as well, isn't it?
Thank you. Exactly. Yes. Yes.
You know, you spend ages not wanting to be called a carer or even not knowing you're a carer. And then you get into it, you know, you're there in the doctor's appointments and you've got your records sorted and you're being really good at being a carer. I'm supposed to be a wife as well, and I'm not sure I can flick between the two. And it's finding your own way of doing it. I mean, Matt was diagnosed a year after we got married, so we're different. It's been slowly, and it started with me making his sandwiches for him, which I thought was, I'm not this kind of wife, you know. I was going to be a role model wife. I thought you might make the sandwiches actually, no. And so it's what part I know. I want to set my girls, a woman,
exactly.
That, you know, yes, loves her husband, cares for her husband, and you know, you don't have to be the slave in the house. You're not, you know, not like previous generations, but getting that balance right. And I think that sometimes that's for me. And I kind of think, is this me being an over wifey wife? Is this me being a carer because Matt needs it right now? And most of it is Matt now. Want to be the husband that had his wife cooking his meals for him and doing the he wanted
exactly. And you know, that takes me to that point. I think there was something I shared with you a few days ago where I read in Rick Elgersmar's blog saying that Rick is disabled, and he said many of your disabled spouses want to do life with you. So it's not, they don't want you to do life for them. Remember, I think I said that to you. And he says, your spouse with a disability can also be hampered and devalued when you do life for them instead of with them. But I want to do life with my wife. I want her to do life. I don't want her to do life for me. I know you spouses mean well, and I applaud your courage, your love. You love fiercely and without apology, and we are more than blessed to have you in our lives. But sometimes you start to do life for your spouse, and by doing so, you are doing life on your own without the spouse you vow to cherish and build with. So it's and that's the thing for me. I remember when I started looking for support, and everywhere I saw carers, there were all these people that cared for the elderly. I just couldn't find somewhere to fit in. And I just didn't like the label carer at that point. And I thought, I'm a wife. I just need support. I'm not, you know, I'm a wife. So yes, we see ourselves as wives in a marriage that we have said we have done our vows, we've given our vows, and we're abiding by our vows. And we're looking at this person as our husbands or wives, whichever applies to you, rather than somebody that you are caring for. So whatever I do for Chris is not because I'm doing it in that role of carer. I'm doing it in that role as a wife, looking out for him. You know, in short, the issue there is us trying not to look after them like children. That's, you know.
Yeah.
Your face, Suzanne.
That article really called me out a bit there, and I think that's a bit of need that. You know, it's really easy for people to go, oh, you're doing great, you're doing amazing, well done, well done, well done. Sometimes you need calling out that, come on, you're a wife, not a parent. You know, see what they want to do, what they want to do as well. And yeah, it's really easy to take over, isn't it? Particularly when we like being
it is. Oh, especially me. Oh my gosh. Oh, you don't even want to see, you know. I have a strong personality, so let's just leave it there.
That article's a really nice reminder.
I'll send that to you anyway. It was a very, very good one. Somebody asked, how do you keep romance alive, especially during this lockdown? How did you do that?
Oh, I don't know. It depends how you define romance, I suppose. I guess for us, it's how do we keep our unique relationship of how we are with each other. For us, it's shared language that means something else. It's the way we talk to each other. It's the little things we say to each other in the mornings. I don't know if that's romantic. Romance isn't flowers in our house. It's nice meals or
exactly.
It's letting someone else have the remote control. I don't know. With us, it is shared jokes, shared humour, kitchen, singing along loudly to a song. I don't know. I hope Matt sees that as romance because I think it is.
Oh, my friend Tash says romance. It depends. Okay, depends.
It's intimacy, isn't it? It's that
intimacy. Yes. Yeah. I mean, once in a while, I think Chris and I have had. Well, we try and have our meals together. I mean, Chris always wants to wait for me anyway to eat. So because there's only so much he can do, it's been interesting. And there's going to be a whole hour to this because it's not something you can cover in a few. My friend Fola is laughing. It's not something you can cover in a few minutes or in just one question. But how do we, I think we've actually done candlelight by ourselves. The children just left us and meals only. All right, there are other things, yes, intimacy. There are other things we do. But I think we talk a lot. Communication is key. Mm-hmm. Now, Chris isn't one who we started to talk even more because he's not one that talks a lot, and he's trying to get him to talk even more because at one time I thought I lost that connection with him and I wanted to get that back. And for us to get that back, I found myself doing more of the talking than him. So we're at this point, we're building up to talking again and getting into that point, you know, into that place where, yes, our romance is increasing. Well, yeah, work in progress. It's not easy. Blushing. All right, thank you. I am blushing. Because he's listening. He's listening, and I know I'm going to get something tonight. He's going to say, okay, all that you have said, do it.
Yeah, walk your talk.
Exactly.
So all couples with teenage kids, you know? That's the whole lockdown.
Yeah. It is. Okay, I mean, one good point is we were going to change our bed. And, well, because of everything, you know, and all that, that has also played a little bit, you know, you have to wait a long time. Now, my daughter is on the whatever. So I'm going to just stop at this point. Because I just realized that she dialed in also. So she's going to be like, Mom, really? Seriously? I can hear her say that after this. So, yes. The next time we talk, when we do the intimacy part, I'll make sure no children are there. Okay. Okay, so somebody asked how do you deal with the feeling down days? I think we've kind of covered that.
You talk.
Yeah, what advice would you give to a young couple who are possibly about to experience what you are? Do
you know that just that feeling in my tummy of how it was when Matt was first diagnosed and how tough that was, and how we saw ahead of us. Ooh, it looked scary, but those first couple of years were probably the worst. The not knowing how it was going to be. We've actually handled everything much better than we thought we could. God gives you what you need to get through it all. It's never as bad as you think. And there are times when it's really down and it's really tough. We've had tough years where it's just seemed relentless, and then you back up again, or you learn to cope with it, or it becomes a new normal. It's not, it's like lockdown. How did lockdown look for everybody? It looked impossible, didn't it? But
exactly.
Yeah. You just do it, and I think that's it. And I'd say, we asked, didn't we, what do we really want people to take away from here? So I think that's one big thing. Find a community, find people around you that you can talk to through it. Don't, if it's early stages, don't dive into it too much. You don't want to immerse yourself in whatever the condition is or whatever.
Exactly.
You guys are going to do it together. This is what your wedding vows are all about, and not because that's a bad thing, but because you're going to do life together.
Exactly. Do life together.
You're going to get to know each other more. You're going to be stronger in it. You're going to test yourselves in it, and you're going to know who you are through it. It's an adventure. I know it doesn't look like a fun one. It's not one you say, but you have to kind of accept it. Poor me.
Yeah.
We're all going to get something, aren't we?
There's always something going to happen. Who would have thought that would be in this pandemic? Yeah. But I think I knew about the condition before I married Chris, so I knew what we were. Yes, so I knew about it. As I said, I'm an optimistic person, so it didn't faze me. I was like, okay, yeah. So you have this. Okay, it's not the end of the world. We will go through it together. I think one advice I would say to young people out there is be prepared for the changes. Be prepared for the changes, because as much as be prepared, and also be prepared for the fact that you will not be that prepared, if you understand where I'm getting. Yeah, because I thought, well, what surprises? I mean, it's Chris and I will do this together, but I found that I was coping with it better than he would, and that's because he was seeing so many things that, I mean, this is somebody that was healthy, doing so much, and then to have little and little and little taken away from him was not easy for him to adapt. But I was like, yeah, but you knew about it. Come on, let's get on, But you knew about it. Come on, let's get on. And so I had to slow down. Yeah. I had to slow down and wait for him so that we would walk that walk together. And even now, I'm still slowing down. I still think fast, and then I have to, relax, relax. Yeah. I mean, the last time was, you need to learn how to use a fork and knife, and then one day I just decided to close your eyes and try and eat and see how it is. It was not that easy, and I at that point I kept quiet. And I didn't say anything anymore about it to him. I thought he will get through it in his own time. So you just have to, as Suzanne has said, have the right people around you. We didn't have the ataxia. We had the ataxia UK, but we were not really, I don't know how it so happened. We were not, because they reached out to Chris, but I don't know what happened. There was a disconnect somewhere. So we didn't have that external support from organizations that we have now. Yeah. But it wasn't so bad, because I have such a strong network of friends, a lot of them on this course. So it wasn't that bad, really. So I would say just take one step at a time and talk and talk and talk. And if you have to cry, cry. But just take one step at a time. All right. I need to see what. Okay. All right. Sorry. I had to see what Annette, my friend Annette, had put there. Okay. Wow. 8 minutes left.
Woo.
8 minutes left. Yes. I think we can just do one question. I was a child carer. Would love to hear more of how you handled it with your kids. We're going to have an entire session on that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think 8 minutes can do justice, but it's a session we're going to do. So please watch out. I would make sure that we would cover that, you know, because this marriage isn't just about the people in the couple involved. It's also about family. So definitely we will cover that. Is there anything you would want to say, Suzanne? Is there anything else you want to add?
One came up there. I was looking at the comments, and you know, it seems like, doesn't it? We're not trying, but the comments like "love conquers all" and things like that. Absolutely.
Yes.
Also, do you know what? There are times when you question that, and I think that's okay. You know, if your other half's just been diagnosed, you're thinking, I don't know if I love them enough. You know, perhaps I don't. Questioning all that. That is okay. Don't be scared of that. Don't. That's it. The relationship is not going to work. You know, there's going to be work to be done, and it might not feel amazing and loving, and oh, my heart's really in this or whatever all the time, and that's okay. I think, you know, don't kind of be down on yourself that you don't feel like an amazing loving wife and amazing loving carer. I think, you know,
exactly.
I like the word carer, and people don't like the word someone who's looking after a loved one, because sometimes you think, oh, I love them today, and that's okay. That's okay. But my big thing is about hope, that there is hope, and cling to that some days, and it can seem a long way off, but there is hope, and you find that community. And if particularly as a wife whose husband was diagnosed, he's a bit head in the sand, but in a good way. I'm going to carry on with my life. I'm going to pretend that happen. I'm going to get on with it, which is a great. I need to tell everyone about this. I need to talk to people. I need to meet other people. And I'm getting the balance between going at his pace and getting out there, finding your tribe, finding people you can talk to. Can't get in touch with people like from the charity or the organisation that supports that condition. Just speaking to other wives, other carers. Get your little network going so you've got people you can lean on. And it's not all one way, you know, it's both ways, but you don't have to worry about the just they'll be there for you when you need them, and you'll be there for them when they need them. It doesn't always feel imbalanced. So just have that network, have that community, and that's where you're going to find the hope. That's where you'll find hope.
Exactly. And I do agree with you there. It's not always so loving, you know. There are some times that, oh my goodness, I think that's with all marriages. Not all marriages are all lovey-dovey all the time, and so we get that here. But you can't guilt trip yourself into being where you shouldn't be. It's so important, because at that point you start feeling resentful, and you really don't want resentment to come in. So one has to be very, very careful that you don't guilt trip yourself into, because he's feeling this way. Well, and I mean, people who know me know that you can't guilt trip me. My husband can't guilt trip me. You know, but it's so important. But there's some women there who are at that place where, you know, they can easily fall into that and be very quick to shout out or speak to somebody, because if not, you're going to allow a lot of resentment to come in. Wow, well done. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for your comments, for making it so interactive. Thank you for joining. We're going to have another session in a fortnight. We don't know how it's going to turn out, but just watch out. Thank you. I'm going to share this on YouTube and Facebook, so please share with your friends. I don't know what to say, but thank you. Thank you, Suzanne. If you know any carers out there that needs a coach, Suzanne is your person. For me, if you need to know more about me, go to www.uzonwuga.com. I've got a blog there. I've also got something new, you know, and it's a kind of framework about what has really, really helped me through this time. So why don't you go visit my website and see, you know, and yes, we'll just keep it flowing and keep it coming. And thank you. Love you too. Love you so much. Thank you for being here, Suzanne. Thank you so much. Any last words?
The service from mobilizeonline.co.uk. It's free for carers. One-to-one coaching. There's group chats. There's a support email. There's a Facebook group as well. So come hang out with us as well. You can join us.
Yes. They also have a copper. So check out Mobilize. You know, they're on Facebook, Twitter. So just go check them out also. Thank you, Suzanne. Make sure you bake Matt a lovely cake. I need to see that cake. I need to see the cake. Okay? Oh my goodness. You know, but tell him happy birthday from us, all of us. You know, say hello to the girls and tell them well done, especially for helping us. Yes, and thank you to my family, because I know I'm going to get to that. Thank you to my family. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Kanye, for being good. Thank you for doing the barbecue, because I am going to chill with a nice glass of wine and some barbecue meat. No coming to my house. Remember something. No coming to my house.
Cake and wine night tonight for Matt's birthday.
Exactly.
Do the same thing tonight.
Exactly. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you. God bless you. See you in a fortnight, and watch out. Okay? And please send any questions. We'll make sure we'll address them in later series. It could be in a fortnight. Who knows? But just keep the questions coming in. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you, Suzanne.
God bless all. Thank you so much. I loved it. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you. Bye.